Hey, I'm Frank, Tech Marketing at Databricks. Do you know, 2025 was the year of the AI agents, but 2026 is when they actually showed up. At Databricks, we've been building AI-powered tooling for data engineers, data scientists, and analysts, and all of that work has now converged into one product, Genie Code. The previous assistant was an LLM at its core that helped with the smaller and more isolated tasks. Genie Code is something entirely different. It's not only a tool that you use, it's more a collaborator that understands your data and your catalog and your context. Today, I will focus on the data engineering perspective. I want to show you Genie Code working with Spark Declarative Pipelines, SDP, which turns out to be a natural fit for an agent because of SDP's expressiveness, where you define what you want and then the platform handles the how. Dependencies, concurrency, retries, security, and scheduling. So it's a declarative approach. And here's the plan. I'll give Genie Code a single prompt to build a complete pipeline from scratch. That means autoloader with proper JSON. It means creating a Medallion architecture, and it also means creating streaming tables and materialized views wherever they make sense. You name it, and it will be ready to run. So, Genie Code acts like a data engineer who's done this 1,000 times and who knows all the toolings and all the settings. Let's kick this off. So we start in the Databricks workspace. I click on New ETL Pipeline. And then you see right away this Create Pipeline with AI button, and it's actually pre-configured. It remembers the last data set. Create a pipeline that reads data from, but I want to change that prompt. I want a more challenging example for you guys. So I want to ingest from a volume. I just give it a sloppy name. That's not the exact name. And I want to analyze different customer tiers. So it's a data set with customer tiers. And let me switch to the data set. That's VS Code. With my JSON data set, it's a list of customers. If you see each of those customers, it's synthetic data. The address itself, it's its own little mini structure. It needs to be flattened. There's a loyalty tier, and there is a total spend per customer. So I kick this off. It's actually now starting to create my pipeline. It gives it a proper name, tier, analytics. It's looking for the catalog and schema. I actually found the correct volume name, even though I didn't specify the underscores. It tells me about the schema, and it's actually even reading now already the data in that volume to get an impression of how that data looks like. It's a volume. It could be any kind of data, but it understands it's this customer data. It understands the structure. You see here it's identifying strings and doubles. And then it says, okay, let me create you this Medallion architecture, bronze for ingestion, silver for flattening, and then the gold layer for aggregation. And I'm using streaming tables and materialized views. And then it says, okay, I can do all three pipeline files in parallel. And this is what is happening right now in the pipeline editor on the left-hand side. You see this navigation bar where we see the files, the Python files, bronze, silver, and gold as they are being generated right now. And now it's updating the files with the proper content. So we might see that update later if we look into these files. Let it think for a second. And it's starting a dry run. So once it's completed the transformation files, it's going to verify if that is really working. It's asking for permission. It's actually asking you for any step for permission, but I already told it, well, don't ask me that many times. So this is why you don't see that question too often in that video. It's doing the dry run now, and you see the data sets are available. Dry run means it's not writing data. It's not creating new data sets. And then I clicked on, well, start the pipeline because I want to see the pipeline. And while the pipeline is starting up, let's look at these files. You see, this is the change. I'll just accept it. It's using import pipelines from PySpark. So it's proper Apache SDP, DP tables, sorry about that, DP table for streaming tables. And then it's reading the data using autoloader. And look at this, it's properly configuring autoloader for multi-line. It specifies the volume, a lot of manual work if you want to do this yourself. Silver layer using a materialized view. For the flattening, look at this, how beautifully it accesses the address.street, address.city. So that works perfectly well. I never told it needs to do that. It just figured that out itself. And then the gold tier for the aggregation. I think that's pretty impressive. That's the pipeline graph. We can run the pipeline, navigate to the code, get the data preview again. That's the bronze layer. Remember, that was like the JSON input that we had that was read by the bronze layer. This is the gold layer. We see the loyalty tiers. Silver, gold, platinum. Let's sort this by revenue. Yeah, you see the total revenue is the highest, where the average spend is the highest. That makes sense. That's good news. Isn't that amazing? That was Genie Code generating a full pipeline, everything from autoloader specification and configuration to Medallion architecture, testing it and running it. Now, there are so many more things. We can convert Python to SQL transformation. We can explain the data flow, use it for Kafka, using it for additional MVs for analytics, convert the old DLT style to the new Spark declarative pipeline syntax. Try it yourself. Well, I told you this would be about data engineering, but I can't wait to show you this as well. You can also use it for dashboards. Here I'm creating a dashboard based on my gold table. I just say, look, give me a dashboard for analytics on top of the gold table, and it already kicks it off. I allow it to do it. That's the AI BI dashboard canvas. And this is what it comes up with. That's the graphical representation of our gold table. Let me change that graph just to show you it's possible. And that's the published dashboard. Now, in that dashboard, the cool thing is it's not only the static data that you see in the dashboard. Again, we can click on this Ask Genie button, and then I can basically ask it any question related to the available data sets. So I could say like this high-level manager kind of question. How much better is the platinum tier versus the gold tier? It's a very vague question, like how would you say better? Like how do you specify better? I still ask that question. Let's see what it comes up with. If you look at the data in the middle, you can kind of guess what is the relation from platinum to gold. It's analyzing the different tiers, platinum and gold, looking for customer counts and offers. 3.4 times more valuable is platinum. That's a pretty good business answer, in my opinion, for a pretty vague question that I asked the system. So I like it. I'll give it a thumbs up. Okay, so if you work in data engineering, data science, analytics, you should have a good idea by now how Genie Code supports you in, this mechanical work that, just keeps you busy. But there is more to Genie Code. You can extend it with MCP server. It could be an external third-party MCP server. It could be a custom one hosted as a Databricks app. And all this tooling is discovered dynamically at runtime. And then you can write your own skills. You can create a skill.md file with a step-by-step instruction in Markdown. And again, it's loaded automatically when it's relevant. Having said that, I want to say thank you for joining me today and talk to you soon.